Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at how to use Book Creator. So first of all, let's go ahead and open up the app. It is the one that you can see in the center of the screen, little multicolored app with the little book and the scissors icon. So let's go ahead and tap on it, and when you open up the app, one of the first things you're going to see is a little book that they've already made for you with a short tutorial. So while this video is definitely a great guide for you if you ever find yourself with some questions as you're going through the app itself, remember the book is always there to guide you through. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is how do we actually go ahead and start creating a new book. So when we're in our home screen, one of the things you'll see up at the left hand side is something that says New Book. So let's go ahead and tap on New Book. One of the next things you're going to see is that there are three options. You can create a book that is a portrait size, a square size, or in landscape mode. It really is completely up to you and whatever your preference is. So for purposes of this presentation, let's go ahead and take a look at the portrait size. So here we are in our home screen, ready to begin. We have a blank slate to start off with, so sky's the limit, possibilities limited only to our imaginations. I want to go through really quickly and just kind of take a look at the top toolbar. On the very left-hand side in the upper left, you'll see something that says My Books. When you're looking at the My Books section, this is automatically going to take you back to your library where you'll be able to see all of the different books that you have created. The second one over is called Pages. When we go ahead and we tap on Pages, we'll be able to see all the different pages that exist in our book. Over here, you can edit the pages and, adjust them accordingly. If we cancel, one of the things that we'll see on the screen on the right-hand side is an arrow. When we go ahead and tap this arrow, it will move us through the different pages in our book. When we reach the end of the book, we'll notice that the arrow now turns into a plus sign. We use this plus sign to add any more pages to our book as needed. So let's go ahead and go all the way back to our cover and take a look at some of the tools that we can use for adding in some more creative elements. So one of the first things we have on the right hand side is a plus button. When we go ahead and we press that, we'll see a list of objects that we'll be able to import into the app. We can choose to bring in a photo. So you can see automatically it's going to pull up your camera roll, it's going to pull up any videos that you have. So even though it says photos, you can also import videos as well. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a little bit. So if you have any albums or anything set up, they'll all kind of be pulled up over here. One of the other items that we're able to bring in is a camera. So if we would like to take a picture of something in the moment, go ahead, pull up your camera, and you'll be able to take a picture of whatever's in front of you. You also have an option for a pen, which will allow you to draw within the app. You can also add text, and you can also add sound, and we'll take a look at all of these features shortly. The next one over allows you to kind of spice up your page a little bit. So you notice we're starting with a plain white page. Maybe we want to add some color in. If we go ahead and we tap on page color, we will see way more colors that will pop up. Now we can choose from the selection in the standard. You'll notice that it also keeps your 8 most recent color selections, which is great if you're working with a project or something more long-term and you want to keep that consistency going. But one of the things you'll notice though is maybe one of the colors that you'd like to have is not over there for you in your standard selection. So what you do is you just go ahead and tap on Custom, and here you'll be able to select whatever color it is you'd like. All you have to do is just go ahead, click Apply, and automatically the color of your book will now change. Don't like the way that looks? Go ahead and tap another one, and automatically you'll be able to play with the color selection. So for purposes of this book, let's go ahead and pick yellow, because yellow is my favorite color. So now that we've taken a look at how you can embed colors, you'll see there are a couple other options for you there as well. If you really want to get creative with your book, you can go ahead and embed a soundtrack. And you'll notice you can choose a track if you have something in your iTunes library. So you might have some playlists, if there's artists, or however it is you've organized it, you can kind of go ahead and choose. I don't have any music on my iPad right now, so nothing's coming up. But if you do have things in your iTunes library, those will pop up over here. You also notice on this, it gives you the option to take a screenshot of your page. So if you are maybe doing a rough draft or a sample and you want to share it with someone, you can always take a screenshot, send it to them, airdrop, email, whatever it is you prefer. And at the very end, we have something that allows you to preview the book that you've made. So this is where you can choose to open it in iBooks or whatever other apps it is that you have available that you'd like to go ahead and preview what it is you're creating in, so you can really see what that finished product is going to look like. Now that you're familiar with all the tools, let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like when we start plugging some of these items in. So let's go ahead, if we're looking at our front cover, let's go ahead and add in a title. You'll notice it doesn't ask you to write directly onto the page itself. It's going to bring up another little box for you in which you can add text. So let's go ahead and say how to create a book. And one of the other things I want to show you in here is that if you hold down on one of the items, you get some options. You can go ahead and you can select the text, you can paste text in, you can also make items bold. Now this is not the only place in which you can do this. I'm going to show you where else you can do it in a little bit. But if you wanted to highlight something, let's say we wanted to select all of it, we wanted to add a link, we could also go ahead and add in a, link to whatever it is that we would like to add in. Once we are done going ahead and adding in our text, let's go ahead in the upper right hand corner and tap done. And all of a sudden, there it is, appears on our page. Now, perhaps we say, that does not look like a title, we need to change the font, doesn't look the way I want it to look. We have some options. We would want to make sure that our text is selected, and we know it's selected when it has the little blue box around it. Once the text is selected, we're going to go back up to the upper right, where in the middle there is the little I button, and here we will see our different options for how we can edit the text. So you'll see that you can change the size, and you can change it just by going ahead and adjusting that little toolbar. You can also bolden the text, italicize it, or underline it if you want, or none of them at all. Going down a little bit lower, you'll see you have the ability to change the text, and there are so many different fonts to choose from. Let's go ahead, for purposes of this presentation, let's go ahead and choose Noteworthy. So we'll go back. Maybe we also say we don't really like the color of the text either. Again, colors are going to work in the same way. Your recent ones are going to be there, the standard ones are going to be there, and then obviously you have your custom selection as well. So how about for this one, we go ahead and we choose this purple color. Let's go back, let's bolden it up a little bit, make it a little bit more prominent, and let's say we also want to center it. One of the other features you'll see here that you'll probably start using once you have more items on a page is you have the option to move things in front or behind, something that's great to use if you've got lots of images and you want certain things to appear forwards or behind. So let's go ahead and just tap right back on our cover. And here we can also use the two little buttons on the side to adjust the size of our title. So I'm going to go ahead and put it all in one line. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here just a little bit. So there we go, I've got my title on my book. Now let's go ahead and add some images. So again, I'm going to go back to the plus sign. I know I want to use a photo. Right here in my camera roll, I have a picture of Book Creator app. So let me go ahead and do this. Now again, one of the things I love about the iPad is really just the way you can use your fingers on a screen to just tap around, touch, resize, turn anything, whatever way you want it to go. So if I want, I can just go ahead and just bring this down to whatever size I want to bring it to, move it to wherever I need to place it. Maybe I want to make it a little bit bigger. I can go ahead and fuss with that as I need. At the bottom, if I want to add in more text, again, I'm just going to go back and hit Add Text. Now, maybe I don't want to add text. Maybe I'd like to do some drawings of my own. So I'm going to go ahead, tap the pen. And over here, I can, add in my initials. You'll notice at the top right, there are options for an eraser. So maybe I don't really like what I did. I can go ahead and I can erase it. Whoops, I'm going to clear the drawing right there, and voila, it is gone. So that's a nicer option perhaps for younger students to get them drawing if they want to, add in some of their own stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look now at what else we can add in. So we have added in a photo. We have added in text. One of the other great things I want to show you in this is how you can add in sound. This is a great way to allow students to narrate their story and kind of tell it without adding too much text onto a page. Again, two options here. One of my options is to go ahead and tap the red circle and just start recording what I want right into my iPad. The other option I have is, again, I can import a soundtrack or maybe a pre-recorded narrative into my book by choosing import from iPad and uploading it into my library in iTunes and then going ahead and bringing it in. We can now see that with the touch of the recording, a little sound icon has appeared on our page. And again, we can reposition this icon to really go wherever we want it to go. We notice if we go too far outside the boundary, it will go ahead and give us an indicator that it cannot go any further. You can always go ahead and tuck it, kind of on the corner of an icon. You can resize it, make it bigger, make it smaller, and really just kind of fit it to wherever it is you want it to go. So again, a great way to have students kind of share and reflect upon, or just tell the story really of what it is that they have created. Alright, so that's pretty much about it in terms of the functions and the features in Book Creator. Again, Blank Slate really allows you to go ahead and create whatever it is that it is you would like to create. Just one last thing, actually, now that I think about it, I'd like to show you is if you go ahead and tap on any of these icons and on the eye, you'll notice there's a delete feature. It will just go ahead and delete whatever's on your page that you no longer want. Not what I wanted to show you though. What I did want to show you was just how awesome it is to be able to bring in a video into your presentation. So if we go ahead, maybe we'll take a look at one of our telegami videos that we have here, and it will just bring up the video that you select. You can go ahead and either preview it with the play button or just go ahead and select use. It will compress it to bring it down to a size that's suitable for Book Creator. One of the things obviously you want to keep in mind is if you're adding in a lot of videos, the size of your book is definitely going to increase. But what's really fantastic is right over here now, as soon as I press play, there I go, and my video is going to start playing and I'm going to have it embedded right within my book. Now obviously a more memory efficient solution is going to be to put an image there and then link that image to the video that it is I want people to view. Once you're all done and finished with your book and you're ready to share, you're going to go ahead, tap on My Books, go back to your library, and you'll notice you can kind of slide through all the different books that you have in your library. So you want to bring up the one that it is you want to share or email or whatever it is you want to do with it. And then at the very bottom, you will notice there are some icons. So the one we're going to choose is going to be the little box with the arrow jumping out of it. And we have a couple options as to how we would like to export our book. We can email the book to someone. We can go ahead and print it if we wanted to. We could send it to iTunes, or we can open it up in another app. We can also export it as a PDF, but again, if you do decide to export it as a PDF, you will lose any interactive elements that you may have embedded within your book. So if we wanted to email it, we would just go ahead, select email, and off it goes to whoever it is we'd like to share it with. Now, one of the other great things about Book Creator is the ability to collaborate with multiple people on a project, even if you're not all present in the same location. And one of the examples I'm going to give you for that is a book that we worked on with the iPad educators, who I'm sure you all remember from that wonderful Nearpod presentation that they did last year. So this is a book that we contributed to, very tiny contribution on our part, but this is a great book that they have available, which basically highlights all these different constructivist applications for the iPad that you can use in your classroom full with examples and ideas about how to start integrating them into creating technology enhanced curriculum. So Steve, the site founder, actually sent me a template that we could work on, and then we sent him back our pages, and he was able to put it all together into one book that, you know, is available now on their website. So if we go ahead and we tap on it, it will open up the book for us, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you two of the pages that we created for them. So the first page we created was on an app called Socrative. And again, you can see here, here's our tags. We've got some images in here. We've got a video right here. You'll notice that again, with the size of the book, we wanted it to be easy to download for people. We did not embed videos within. Instead, we linked images to the video and then kind of gave a little example here that you can go ahead and you can tap on the image to see whatever it is that we've got posted for you. Another great app that we're going to have a video for coming up very soon is ThingLink. ThingLink is an awesome application with so much potential, but again, you can see we've got some different page colors going on, we've got some images, text that we've linked things up to. So again, we just go ahead, send this back to him, and he's able to put it all together into one book. So if you've got kids working on a project, the ability to be able to collaborate, even though they're not all in the same place, maybe they're going to edit it at home, share it once everyone's kind of finished up their sections, allows for accountability, allows for, you know, roles to be defined, responsibilities to be set, so that you can ensure not one person in the group is really doing all the work. Back to the home screen now, one of the other things you'll notice is right below the book is a little I button. This is where you can edit some of the information here. So maybe I want to change the name of the author, maybe I want to change the name of my title. It will also tell me here how big my book is, and then I've got a couple other options if you want to go more into your advanced settings. Right here I can also decide how I want people to view the book. Do I want them to see the pages side by side, or do I only want them to see one page at a time? If I really want to get intricate, I can also decide how I want the orientation to be. Maybe I only want my book viewed in landscape mode. Maybe I only want it viewed in portrait mode, or I'm going to select none if it doesn't really matter to me what mode that they're in. Also here I have the option of deleting my book if I so choose, and I would just tap it and all of a sudden it would be gone. If I tap the plus sign, I have a couple other options. If I want to duplicate the book, I can do that. If I have multiple books, maybe I'm doing a series and at the end of the year I decide I want to kind of compile everything into one, I can also combine a lot of books in my library into one joint book. Thank you very much.